All right, so welcome here, whoever's listening to the audio or the video, I guess, because we can't pull out just the audio the way we thought we could. Yeah, so if everybody could mute, somebody still is not muted, I can tell. Oh, thanks for the words, Angela. Appreciate that. Okay. All right, so let's begin by coming home again. So closing your eyes, bringing your awareness to your breath, bringing your awareness to your body breathing. Feeling that movement in the torso. Actually, our breathing, of course, affects every part of our body, but we feel it mostly in the torso. Once we drop into our torso and not just up in our chest. So, nice waterfall breathing. Remembering to hold that breath, to kind of feel that tension, almost let the new energy kind of percolate around the edge. And then as you release the breath through your mouth, just being really conscious of that feeling of relaxing that starts in the jaw and goes down your neck and your chest and your back and your shoulders into your belly. The more you're really, the more you're more aware of being in your body. We're breathing in the essence of our life. Breathing in oxygen. Oxygen is a chemical molecule. We're also breathing in ether, right? That relatively still, mysterious force that we call spirit, or we call in the Western science that one point they called ether. We call it chi, right? It is known by many, many names: prana, life force energy. And we're breathing it into the physical, to our physicality. Actually, I'm going to read you something. I think I could find it really quickly. And I had posted this on Facebook and got a number of responses from it. And I just think it's really lovely. So I'm going to go back and find it so that I can read it to you. It really does have something. Oh, that's the wrong Holly Timberlake. Wow. That's not me. So keep focusing on your breathing as I'm doing this. Okay, that looks more like me. Okay, here's the post. One of the reasons that I reposted this, and one of the reasons that I'm going to share it today, is that as you may or may not know, I haven't said a lot about it, but my own daily ceremony, my daily prayer practice actually is to go outside. This is something I started in the 80s, or had my first introduction to in the 80s, and that have really taken up again more seriously this year, actually. maybe the end of last year. And it is really an awareness of the four directions and calling in the energies and the spirit of the four directions. And I go outside and do it every morning. I call in for assistance. I call in spirit guides. I call in sacred beings. I call in my higher self and give gratitude to these four directions. And with that is the awareness that, you know, our bodies are composed of, you know, obviously some cultures talk about 5 elements instead of 4 elements, but in any case, we are composed of all these elements. Our physical bodies are composed of these elements. So I saw this just a couple of days ago. And it says, you are comprised of 84 minerals, 23 elements, and 8 gallons of water spread across 38 trillion cells. That's a little bit to take in. You have been built up from nothing by the spare parts of the earth you have consumed, according to a set of instructions hidden in a double helix and small enough to be carried by a sperm. You are recycled butterflies, plants, rocks, streams, firewood, wolf fur, and shark teeth, broken down into their smallest parts and rebuilt into our planet's most complex living thing. You are not living on the earth. You are Earth. To me, that's maybe goes without saying that that is one of the most full expressions I've read, and expansive expressions I've read about our physicality. We are earth and we are spirit. We are oneness, right? We are earth and we are oneness, and we are earth in the same way that we are oneness. And together, the two of them meet within our bodies, within our fields, actually within our fields, and our bodies are created from the constructs of our energetic fields. And we experience ourselves as unique individuals living inside these unique bodies, right? But to feel into this, perhaps just a little bit more, to feel our oneness with the earth, right? Our identity with the earth, with the living energy of the earth. We are perhaps the most complex forms of living energy on the earth. And as I'm sure everybody's heard, that from an energetic perspective, we are the consciousness of the earth. Not to say that other beings don't have consciousness, and in some ways, perhaps even more consciousness than we do in some ways. And yet we have something that we can now call conscious self-consciousness. We can be aware of being conscious. And that's our evolutionary, growing, transformative edge, I think. And perhaps what this time is all about. Because certainly part of the silver lining of this COVID experience has been to deepen our relationship within ourselves, to be pressured into more awareness of the importance of living intentionally and choicefully to be able to navigate the challenges and the conditions of this time. even though I know not everybody on this call has felt that this has been a particularly challenging time. Many of us have, and perhaps at different levels. Whether that challenge is personal, community, family, neighborhood, society, world. There's never been a time when everybody in the earth has been focused on the same thing from a million different perspectives, but on the same thing. And so just feeling into that, or letting yourself open it up into that, not having to have a particular response or a particular answer to a question or a particular experience as a result of me sharing this and you opening to it. Just knowing that opening to it is opening you at many more levels than just the part of you that you're aware of listening to me. So it's planting seeds, which I love to do. Okay. All right, so coming back to awareness of the breath again. Breathing out any tension, breathing out tightness. Let's do a scan before we start tapping on particular things. Let's do a scan through our bodies and see what you notice in terms of how your physical body is feeling. Where are you perhaps on a scale from well-being to feeling the opposite of well-being? So that's a one number or small range number. There's also an awareness of where might you be feeling more density, more energetic density. Which kind of feels like a heaviness. It can feel like a heaviness within you or around you. It can feel a little bit like challenges breathing more deeply, even though there's a lot that's very physical about that, of course. If you attempt to or have the ability to scan your body for color and sense color, the density will show up as places where the color, either you can't see color or it's muted or dulled. And the same thing with light. We can scan with light and see how, where when you bring in light, when I'm doing this, I'm always doing it from the top of my head. So when you bring in light, can you feel where that light travels easily? And can you notice some places where it doesn't feel that like that light can quite get in? So let's do this. I never did it this way before. So with this awareness of your physical being, let's just tap. I don't have to have words, but we have an awareness of our physical being because of sensation. So going to whatever sensation you are aware of and tapping, and eyebrows, and breathing, sides of your eyes, good waterfall breathing helps you release more of this density Might also be releasing some pain and some tension and some soreness. Above your lips, focusing on your physical body. Doing a cleansing, doing this tapping as a cleansing below your lips of your physical body, energetically and physically. Breathing out residue, collarbones. Good. On the sides. As tapping on the sides really activates all the organs in our body more than any of the other places that we tap. So, and then wrists, that sensation in your body, the density, the soreness, the tension, maybe even some pain. Okay, and then stop with a nice deep breath. And just see if you can notice anything different. I notice that I feel bigger. I feel more open. And I feel more space within. I'm more aware of my legs. I have a little catch in my side from exercise I was doing earlier, and that is decreasing a little bit from that round of tapping. Okay. All right, now let's check in with our emotional bodies. Right? So, major emotions, fear, sadness, anger. We can bring up some others like aversion, disappointment. I've been mentioning disappointment more lately. Vulnerability, pressure. Pressure is kind of physical, but pressure might be more emotional, might be more mental. So we'll bring that up there again. And it's really good with the emotions to take a step or two down. Like if I could let myself feel what I'm really feeling now, just a little bit more, I could let go of more of the controls and just feel more into what's happening in my heart, right? You can put your hands on your heart. As we continue to develop this capacity to feel into our heart center. Might you notice some more emotion by putting your hand on your heart? And then the other thing you might notice as we talk about emotion or look at emotion is that that can generate more physical sensation too, right? And so let's go back and do another round of tapping with what's coming up for you emotionally, however it's coming up. Could be the feeling of it, the actual feeling of the emotion. It could be an image, a memory, eyebrows. Just focusing on cleansing our emotional body on the sides, bringing some more awareness to this emotional layer of our being. And feeling what's present, opening to what's present, above your lips and letting it go. Below your lips, letting it go. See if you notice little micro movements and shifts in your posture as you let go of different emotions, different densities, different tensions. All this emotion and the emotion that you're feeling in your heart, on your sides, all the emotion you carry in your organs, right? So we have the stomach that represents fear generally. This is simple, but the stomach representing fear, and the liver representing anger, and the gallbladder representing feeling galled or agitated or provoked, right? Kidneys representing sadness. The bladder, well, I don't know exactly what the bladder, let me think. Bladder maybe also representing sadness. Kidneys representing, interesting. When I tap on the kidney point, I usually focus on heart-centered energy. But the kidneys are about water and flushing our bodies. Of course, our intestines are about digestion, right? Our stomach, and elimination, right? Letting go, like holding on and letting go. And the lungs. Lungs are associated with sadness too. So we have a number of things here kind of associated with sadness. A couple things with agitation. A couple things. Yeah, those are variations on those two themes. All right, tapping on the sides. Emotions, letting go, whatever the residue is. And it might just be energetic residue. You may not even feel anything as we do this. But even though you don't feel anything, you're certainly releasing emotional charge. Okay, back up to the high heart and another nice deep breath. I was working with a client this morning and had such the way it came up in the session was just how profound the relationship is between emotions and our physical body, and the emotions that we hold on to, the emotions that we try and shove inside or push down or hide away, and how those bring distortion that shows up physically. And so for our well-being, for our really empowered, optimal, not complete, some level of optimal well-being, for thriving, we really need to clear out these emotions and have the courage, which we all do here, right? To go to those deep emotional places and trust ourselves now to be able to release that pain and free ourselves. Okay, all right. And so now your mental body, thoughts. How are your thoughts? What do you notice? What kind of judgments may you have been having lately? You find yourself caught up in any kind of blame patterns, self-doubt, insecurity, control. Control is a mental thing, right? Pressure, right? We could be feeling pressure from the things we're telling ourselves we have to do, or that somebody else is telling us we have to do, or pressure from timelines. That's mental too. I know there's others, but just see what you notice. The other thing to look at is how quiet is your mind, or how much of it is kind of a monkey mind. All kinds of things going on inside. All right, so tapping on your mental body. Eyebrows on the disturbances to the peace of your mental body. The sides of the disturbances to the balance of your mental body. Underneath, releasing. discharging the disturbances in your mental body, discharging this discomfort, dis-ease mentally, discharging discarding these disruptive energies mentally, discharging, discarding these disruptive mental energies. On the sides, discarding, disrupting, no, discarding, discharging these disruptive mental energies. Wrists, discarding and discharging these disruptive mental energies. Back up to the high heart with a nice deep breath. Seeing what you're noticing now. Seeing if you can feel yourself inhabiting yourself, not just your body, but your field. Can you feel yourself sort of out here in your field? Like when we do this, my awareness is that I'm out here. I mean, I'm all the way out here. I don't have this sense of my skin so much when I get into these places. All right. And then the last, your spiritual body. Well, actually there's relational body too. So let's do that one. So your relational body. How is your relationship with yourself? Let's just focus on that today, maybe. How loving and kind and supportive have you been of yourself today? How much compassion and gentleness and understanding and forgiveness have you brought to yourself today or over the past number of days? So let's tap on that, knowing that without checking in with relationships with others, the people in our lives, the beings in our lives, the earth, spirit, animals in our lives, those are beings in our lives, of course, too. So just tapping out any distortion, right? Eyebrows, tapping out any tendency towards judgment on the sides, any lack of kindness to ourselves, underneath any lack of kindness, above your lips, any lack of empathy and compassion for yourself. Below your lips and mercy, collarbones. Feeling of being merciful to ourselves. Tapping out anything that isn't love, right? Anything that's below love. Tapping out that energy. Wrists. Tapping out anything that is not of love. Letting it go. Feel like I want to shake my arms out with that one. Okay. Up to the high heart, another nice deep breath. Good. And last one is our spiritual energetic self. So check in with your sense of your high self, with your sense of or your feeling of the presence of the universe. Again, whatever words you use for it, with the universe, all that is, the sacred beings, divine, divinity, God, and of course, particular beings, Jesus, the Marys, I like to say, Kuan Yin, Buddha, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Isis, Inanna, whoever. And how open, how relaxed do you feel in this body? So let's tap on that. And this could be a place where emotion could show up, but also a lot of mental energy. Eyebrows. When we talk about energy, the level of energy in spirit beings, people have a lot of beliefs, right? And on the sides of your eyes. And those beliefs we can get caught up in, well, I don't believe in any of this, or I don't know what I believe, or I doubt it, or I want to believe and I don't. And all of that is sort of the monkey mind, I guess, about spirituality. And just let that go and just notice. Just try and be present within yourself and wonder what might be larger connections, more expanded connections that you feel. What might be some of the energies that help animate you and are always by your side, helping you to go through life with whatever the challenges are that you experience in life, because of course, that's being human. Part of being here is having experience that is challenging in so many, many different ways. And we've all experienced many numbers of different ways of feeling challenged. On the sides, letting go of disturbance. Wrist, letting go of disturbance. Collarbones. Nice deep breath here. Good. And now check in with, just feel the whole of you. The interwovenness of your physical, emotional, mental, relational, and spiritual and energetic bodies. How do they all feel together now? Can you feel more of a buzz or a hum, that energetic flow inside maybe? Might be able to feel your heartbeat a little bit more. Okay, so from here, let's go into tapping. Take a moment to orient yourself to the belief that you want to clear or continue to work on clearing, the experience that you want to clear, the aspect of the past that you want to let go of, a pattern that you are working to transform. When you have that, okay. So now, with whatever it is you're going to work on, I invite you to feel into the disruption of that. Like, let yourself go to the core of whatever the disruption is. Moving to a core belief, like from a belief about behavior. Like, say, it's hard for me to do this thing, to I'm, not good. I'm not good enough, right? For example, is a deeper. That's a deeper dive, and it helps us to change and transform our experience inside ourselves and our interaction in the world and our experience of the world. I remember one of the greatest depictions I ever saw of the impact that a quality of our emotional world, our thinking world, like let's say the remains of trauma or unhealed trauma, and how that affects us and our experience of reality, was on a Star Trek show. And there was a man and a woman, and the man, they were invited, I think, holographically to go to a different environment. And the environment he experienced was full of big boulders, and it was very dark. There wasn't very much light, and there was nothing growing, right? It was all brown and grayish and desolate. Desolation, really characterized the place he went. And the place she went was beautiful, with water flowing and trees growing and flowers. And I thought it was really simple and really effective. I did, and then I'm going to actually take us into the tapping, but I did recently, I actually created an inner garden meditation that the recording on it didn't work, so we didn't save it, but I couldn't save it, but I want to be able to do it again, because I think it's such a powerful way to get an absolutely accurate understanding of how we're doing inside, picture of what's real for us. Okay, with all that being said, I'm going to start with do the tapping with the belief reversal language. Okay, and so we can do both. You can do whatever it is you're working on, experience, pattern, or belief. So even though and of course I'm rubbing at the collarbones, even though I still have this belief or this effect, say, right, or this charge from whatever, use your own language, I am going to love myself and feel better anyway. Even though I still have this inside of me, I can feel this inside of me. I love myself and I am going to feel better anyway. Even though I can feel the way this still lives within me, right? Still has energy, still drives my behavior in ways that I don't want to continue. I love myself and I'm going to feel better anyway. Deep breath. On top of your head. Even though it may not be possible for me to let go of this experience, the effects of this experience, of this belief, of this pattern, I love myself and I'm going to feel better anyway. Eyebrows. Even though I just might not let go of it, might not ever let go of it, I still love myself and I'm going to feel better anyway. I choose to love myself and feel better anyway. On the sides. Even though I might not do everything necessary to heal and free myself of this, I choose to love myself and feel better now. Even though I may not give myself permission, I may not allow myself to let go of this, to free myself of this, to heal from this completely. I choose love. And I choose to trust myself. And I am going to feel better now. Above your lips, even though it may not feel safe or it doesn't feel safe. Even though it doesn't feel safe to parts of me, even if I'm not in touch with them. Like there might be a part of me saying, well, of course this is safe, right? That's kind of a silly thing, of course. And at this point, I know that I'm safer, I'm stronger when I let go and I reverse these beliefs. That doesn't mean that there aren't parts of you for whom letting go of something like this is still really scary, right? Blow your lips because they may not have a feeling of security wrapped around them. They just don't. I used this analogy earlier today about the myelin sheath around the nerves. And when that myelin sheath, I don't know, dissolves or wears away or whatever happens to it, then that's one of the things that we call MS, right? Not enough protection for the nerves. So one of the things we have children often felt is not enough protection, right? So those parts that never felt enough protection are trying to protect themselves now. And they really do need us to be there for them, to gather them up, to put our arms around them, to have angels put their arms around them, or healers, or loving beings, or ancestors, beloved ancestors, put their arms around them so they can begin to feel some protection. And the more protection we feel, the more we can let go of what frightens us. On the sides. Even though it might not feel like it's such a good idea to let go of this experience, belief, right? I choose to love myself and feel much better right now. And I choose to believe it's possible for me to let go and feel much better right now. Wrists. Even though I may not feel like I deserve to let go, that's almost always there, somewhere inside, feeling guilty, feeling badly, feeling a sense of shame or embarrassment, feeling not good enough, right? That's where all those negative self-beliefs come in that contribute to us feeling like we don't deserve. Not true. So even though I may feel like I don't deserve to let go of this, I choose to reverse this. I choose to love myself, and I choose to love myself through this. I choose to love myself into a brighter future now. Top of your head. Even though I may not be willing to let go of all the benefits or all the reasons that I have created or that are there for keeping this belief, I'm going to love myself and feel better anyway. Eyebrows. Even though I may not feel like I have the right to let go of it. Sometimes that happens. I love myself and I'm going to feel better now. On the sides, even though I may not forgive myself for having this belief, I choose to love myself. I choose forgiveness. I choose acceptance. Good. Underneath your eyes. Even though I might not forgive myself for letting go of this. And this is always about feeling like this is part of the strategy for protection. So letting it go sometimes feels like it, increases, right? A sense of vulnerability or a worry about that. A kind of discomfort, disquiet, perhaps. So I forgive myself for letting go, even though, say, there's going to be a transition period, until I build more confidence that I can let go of whatever this is. Right? And I do feel that I'm stronger. Above your lips. And even though this belief, this energy, the results, the effects of this experience, the effects of my past, this pattern has been woven within me. I'm going to unweave it. I'm going to unweave it now. And I choose to love myself. I choose to forgive myself. I choose to move into loving acceptance of myself. And if I can, of others and the world. And then let's bring our hands to the high heart and tap back and forth. Take a nice deep breath here. And as you're taking this nice deep breath, whether it's been whatever it is you've been working on, go back through your life, or the pathway, the trajectory of your life, and go back to the beginning, right? Without muscle testing, we almost never know when these things start, if we're talking about beliefs or patterns, right? Or even emotions, do we really know when we first experience abandonment and rejection and fear? Like, no, we don't. Or anger, because those things all happen before we are at an age where we can remember. So knowing that there are going to be the energies of memories activated as you walk along this path. Some you'll remember and some you won't. But have this feeling, however it comes to you, of walking in this path. And as you walk, you're clearing this pathway. Like, this pathway is the story of your life. It's the story of your life that you've been living from, right? It's not the truth of your life. It is the story of your life. And the story of your life is very real. And the story of our lives is also based on the emotions, the patterns that we still carry inside, right? So as we walk through, you can imagine yourself walking through this pathway of your life. It's almost like you are this huge light, right? This huge glowing golden light, or maybe the purple flame, or the green light of heart and healing energy, whatever comes to you. Pure white light. Like we just had that snow moon, right? The snow moon, the brightest moon of the year. We move through that trajectory, and the energy within which we are moving is cleansing the particulars of the story of our life, the experiences, the way they landed inside, the impacts that they've had, the kind of patterns that we started engaging in as ways to protect ourselves. And this beautiful, loving, healing light, you feel it move into and through, and just cleansing your whole being and path from the beginning of your life here. Some of you might even go back to past lives and just have an awareness of doing this kind of cleansing simultaneously, multidimensionally with past lives or with ancestors' lives to help heal generational trauma. Don't overthink it. Just kind of open to these big concepts I just brought in. Feel yourself continuing to move through. And if you've already gone through your life, come back and do it again. And take your time and breathe deep. Nice deep waterfall breaths. Another minute. One more nice deep breath. See what you notice. What do you feel inside now? Let's come to the top of our heads. Freeing myself to open into more love and joy. Eyebrows continuing to release all the residue from the past, that I might feel more love for myself inside. On the sides, that I might have more compassion and mercy for myself. Back to your eyebrows, that I might have more love for others, for all of life, that I might be able to feel more present and alive in the moment. On the sides, I have more empathy and compassion for the world. Underneath, opening up to more freedom within, more flexibility, more openness, more flow. Above your lips, opening to more acceptance, to a relaxed state of moving through whatever it is that we've brought into our lives. Below your lips. Opening up to greater sense of wonder. Collarbones, a greater sense of joy. On the sides, opening up to a greater sense of peace. Wrists opening up to a greater sense of balance. Top of your head. And giving gratitude to yourself. Eyebrows, giving gratitude to all the parts of myself. On the sides, giving gratitude to my higher self. All the super conscious parts of myself. Underneath, giving gratitude to the earth and all living energy. Above your lips, giving gratitude to spirit, to space, which is filled with consciousness and information and energy. Giving gratitude to God. Below your lips. Giving gratitude to all the beings who support you and are here now with you individually. Collarbones are here now with us in the circle. For all the gifts, all the support, all the healing on the sides. Opening ourselves up to a sense of pleasure, a sense of awe, right? Awe and wonder. How important it is to feel wonderment and delight, to feel the sweetness of laughter. Yes. Feeling ourselves both expanded and yet with healthy boundaries. Expanded and yet contained. Expanded and whole. Collarbones. I am whole. I am healed. I am love. I am joy. I am creativity. I am abundance. I am prosperous. I am filled with light. I am brilliant. I am loving. And I am grateful. I am so grateful. And then feel inside yourself. Feel all the way down to the level of your cells. Feel the water, the 8 gallons of water. And feel that water. We've all seen images of coherent crystals. Right? Water is crystalline in nature. And so feel the coherence in the cells, the coherence in the fluids in your bodies, the water of your body. The coherence and the water of your body is essential to thriving, to optimal well-being. And we're only just beginning to understand this. One final deep breath to breathe out any residue, 'cause as we know, it continues to percolate up and through. So perhaps not final, but a final breath for tonight's session. Feel yourself moving back into your life. Notice how you move back into your life slightly differently. Some things are going to feel different. You're going to feel different inside yourself. Feel yourself moving into living your life in a more expanded and balanced, loving, clear, and connected place from within. That is my wish. That is my prayer for each of you, for all of us. And with that, I wish you a beautiful week until I see you again. All right. So goodbye for now and be well.